Welcome back to everyone in the room and on the live stream. Excited to kick off our last afternoon before our half day tomorrow. Had a great lunch again. If there's any staff in the room, fantastic venue and meals here. Yeah, thank you for the little clap up front there. We're going to talk a little bit more now on an MLS perspective of the history and the development of technology. We've heard a lot about MLSs working with outside vendors, which is the usual case, working with another vendor. But some of our MLSs have built technology, sometimes to solve problems that are being solved by other technology vendors, but sometimes to invent new things that didn't exist in the MLS space before, when they saw the need to build things because no one else was building it for them. So we're excited to have Katie Smithson from REcore to come talk to us a little bit. Welcome, Katie.
All right, thank you everybody. My name is Katie Smithson, as Sam introduced me, Chief Revenue Officer for REcore. First, I just want to thank RESO for actually having me here today, and especially Greg Sachs and the whole team for being extremely patient with me as I was a little late getting my presentation over here. So part of that, I guess I should get the clicker, that probably would help too. Despite the title of the session that is on your agenda, we are actually going to be talking about independent databases, how it started, and where we're going. Originally, I had planned to talk about what we are building at REcore with our ad edit, and Dan Ray, who is our Director of Product Development, was going to be here with me. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it, so hi, Dan. I'm sure you're watching at home. So anyway, plans have changed, and I thought it would actually be better to give a little bit of history, as Sam alluded to, and just talk about how things have started at CRMLS and where we're going with REcore. And yes, I'm using my phone for notes because I've been told I'm a terrible storyteller, so I have to stay on track. So don't make fun of me. All right, so let's dive right in, and I'm going to give a little bit of background information. So first and foremost, I want to just talk about who REcore is, if you are not familiar. There's a lot of confusion about the distinction between CRMLS and REcore. And REcore is an independent company that was started by CRMLS to really take the technology that had been built in-house over the years and take it to a broader audience. And I think as we've seen, especially in the discussions today, that some of the things that we are doing obviously have great market appeal. Now what you see up here, this is what we refer to as CRIB. Does anybody know what CRIB is, or have you heard of it before? Nobody, that's surprising. So CRIB stands for California Regional Information Database. It was created over 10 years ago, and it was basically solving the problem that Bill Fowler and Daniel Jones were talking about the session before lunch. So CRMLS wanted to implement an independent native data dictionary database to manage and control the data that they had. That in turn led to opportunities for CRMLS to grow their organization. So as you can see up here, there are 4 systems that are currently live in the CRMLS marketplace. You've got Matrix, Paragon, FlexMLS, and Perchwell. Now, the way that it works currently is that a user goes into their system of choice and they input a listing there. That's where they manage their listing. So basically, from the end user standpoint, they're just going into a normal MLS system. But what we're doing in the background is taking that information, putting it in the centralized database, and then sending it out to all of the other systems. So every agent and broker in the CRMLS marketplace can have access to all the same listing data details. Everybody with me so far? All right, so in addition to that, we take that data and obviously can distribute that to downstream customers as well. So in addition to sharing that data via the different systems. It also distributes out to third-party vendors. It's a way for CRMLS to better manage the numerous data shares that they have. And that's kind of where things stand at the moment. Now, what we are working on at this point, I like to say CRMLS walked so REcore could run. Basically, what we've been doing since REcore was founded, we have, obviously, CRMLS has invested in REcore, not just monetarily, but also by providing the technology that had been built in-house. And the same is true for a few other MLSs. So North Star MLS, they have also sold technology to REcore and invested monetarily, as well as Maris MLS that was recently announced last week also. So we're very, very excited to have this like-minded group of MLSs that have seen the vision that we have and are invested in it and want to continue to grow in the marketplace. So one other thing I wanted to talk about too is the implementation and deployment of SmartRETs. Now, I know the name is a little tricky here because we're saying RETs, but it's not just for RETs. It actually is an ingestion tool that was built to go along with CRIB to simplify and speed up the process of data ingestion. One example outside of obviously the CRMLS marketplace where the data has been ingested into CRIB, REdistribute has actually used the procedures that REcore has built to ingest data for the many MLSs that they are working with. And the great thing about the SmartRETs process is that it can take that data ingestion time down from like 2 months to 2 weeks. So we've seen a huge increase in the number of MLSs that can be onboarded in these kind of situations due to the processes that we've put in place, and all, again, following data dictionary standards. Okay, so as I mentioned, CRMLS did sell some technology to REcore, and in doing that, we have renamed CRIB to REDataCore. And I'm hoping maybe I can do a little Mandela effect up here so you'll forget that we ever called it CRIB, and now it's REDataCore, okay? So it's really the same powerful concept, but like I said, at REcore, we're taking that initial concept that was created by CRMLS and taking it to the next level. So, who's still with me? This ostrich is really just a check to make sure you're paying attention. Now, I've been in the real estate industry, or in the MLS industry, for about 16 years, so a little over than REDataCore has existed. And the concept of independent databases is not unique to CRMLS. Bright MLS has had Cornerstone for years. North Star MLS had CDP. Obviously, this is something that is more of a growing trend, as you've seen in all the sessions that have been on stage today. But why does this independent data matter? And the analogy that I came up with is basically like, think of the database as a food court. And you can go to the food court and you can have all different flavors. And that applies to the systems that you can offer to your membership. So you're, again, not forcing your members to necessarily choose one particular system. You're able to open up the options and give them more choice. And really, the journey is just getting started. So, really quick plug, if you have not signed up for the REcore newsletter, do that. If for no other reason, I mean, obviously we have great information that we talk about, like trends and upcoming things, but we also have a monthly cocktail, so very important information that you can get there on my favorite cocktails. So, what we, again, like with REcore, we saw what CRMLS was doing. We wanted to build on that. And that's where the new design for REDataCore comes into play. So you can see it's a little bit of a different layout. And instead of the listings coming in from the different systems, we will have a single point of entry. So the way this will work is, in this example, we're using REcore's prop list. Now, as I mentioned a minute ago, we have acquired other technology from other MLSs, Northstar MLS being one of those, and we did acquire their Add Edit module. So what we're doing now is currently working on that and perfecting that to extend that to other organizations so they can have a single point of entry. Our first two MLSs slotted to go live with this would be CRMLS and Northstar. So the way that will work is the listing is input into prop list or the add edit module. It goes straight into REcore, and then it is sent out to the different systems that are available in the marketplace. Now, the big change that we're doing here is actually implementing webhooks. And this has been done in Northstar with FlexMLS. So Northstar also has FlexMLS, Paragon, and Matrix. About a year ago, I think, Flex actually worked with Northstar to implement the webhook updates, and it dramatically increased the real-time data exposure. So it really made a better experience for the end users because no longer were they waiting for the data to get into one system, filter through the database, and then out to another. So they really were getting real-time updates. And that's where we're going with REcore, is working with all of the vendors to implement the webhooks so we can really have real-time data. In addition to that, we are also working with Prime MLS. I think Sarah's in the room somewhere. There she is. So we're working on Prime MLS. We're really excited to roll out the REcore database with them in a couple of weeks. Obviously, we have to get through some testing, but it's going really well. Now, that will be a different kind of implementation. It'll be more of the input situation where they're going to have Paragon. The users can put the listing in through Paragon and go into REcore. But if Prime decided down the road that they wanted to implement a single point of entry, we can reconfigure that to do this design here. Okay, so my marketing person did this. It's giving platform energy. I'm too old to talk like this, but you know, it is what it is. So REcore really, it's not just about infrastructure. It's about utilizing the tools that are out there and available, using the RESO standards to provide independence and flexibility and give MLSs more control over their data and the partners that they're working with. So I think with that, I will wrap things up. I know I didn't take up my full 20 minutes. I feel like you probably, after lunch, you want your time back anyway, you know, maybe go grab a quick drink or whatever. But I just want to say thank you for sticking with me through this. Obviously, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. You can take a picture of the QR code. That will actually just prompt you to send me an email. Happy to talk more with you about any of this, especially where we're going with our Add Edit, and answer any questions that you might have. So thanks again to everybody at RESO. Don't forget to sign up for the REcore newsletter, and maybe I'll see you at the bar for a prickly pear margarita. Thank you very much.